Ohio, July 1954. The house stood quietly near the shores of Lake Erie. White walls, open windows, summer air drifting in without suspicion. Inside, Dr. Sam Sheppard slept upstairs. Downstairs, his wife Marilyn was being beaten to death. The call came just before dawn. Sam Sheppard told police he had been sleeping when a noise woke him. Voices, a struggle. He ran downstairs and saw a figure, a bushy-haired man. There was a fight, a blow to the head. Darkness. When he regained consciousness, Marilyn was dead. Bludgeoned. Broken. Still in bed. The crime scene was chaos. Blood spattered the walls, furniture overturned. Marilyn's body showed signs of prolonged violence. Yet nothing appeared stolen. No forced entry. No clear trail leading away from the house. And Sam? He had minor injuries. A cut lip. A bruised neck. Too little, some would later say. Within hours, suspicion settled where it always does. On the husband. Sam Sheppard was handsome, calm, educated, a local doctor from a respected family, and to the public eye his grief looked restrained. Too restrained. Police questioned him aggressively, repeatedly. They asked about arguments, about infidelity, about a rumored affair with a nurse. Sam denied killing his wife, but doubt had already taken root. The newspapers moved faster than the investigation. Headlines screamed accusations before evidence existed. Photos of Sam filled front pages. Editorials demanded justice, loudly, angrily. One paper asked openly, "Why isn't Sam Sheppard in jail?" Public opinion hardened. And once it did, facts stopped mattering. Detectives missed things. Footprints near the lake were ignored. Blood evidence went undocumented. Witness statements were lost or dismissed. The case didn't need to be solved. It needed to be closed. Sam Sheppard watched his life collapse in real time. Neighbors stopped speaking to him. Friends avoided his eyes. Strangers stared as if the verdict was already decided. And perhaps it was. Because in this case, the trial wouldn't begin in a courtroom. It had already begun in the newspapers.
The investigation unfolded under a spotlight. Police didn't work in silence. They worked in front of cameras, headlines, and public outrage. Every step was rushed. Every decision leaned in one direction, toward Sam Sheppard. Detectives returned to the house again and again, but not to search for an intruder, to reinforce a narrative. They focused on motive instead of evidence, on personality instead of proof. Sam was questioned for hours without a lawyer, sometimes overnight, sometimes repeatedly in the same day. They asked the same questions until the answers sounded rehearsed, then accused him of lying. The crime scene told a complicated story. Marilyn had been beaten violently, repeatedly. The injuries suggested rage, persistence, strength. Blood patterns indicated movement through the bedroom, possibly more than one position, more than one moment of attack. Yet Sam's injuries were minimal. To investigators, that meant guilt. To others, it raised a different question. If Sam staged the crime, why make it so brutal? Why leave so much chaos? Why invite doubt? Those questions were never fully explored. Then came the rumors that Sam had been unfaithful, that he wanted a different life, that Marilyn was pregnant and unhappy. Some of it was true. Some of it was exaggerated. Some of it was invented. But in the public eye, it didn't matter. A husband who cheated was already halfway guilty. Evidence that pointed elsewhere quietly disappeared. A trail of blood leading toward the lake. Footprints that didn't match Sam's shoes. Witnesses who saw a strange man nearby that night. None of it fit the story being sold. So it was ignored. As weeks passed, the pressure intensified. Police chiefs gave interviews. Prosecutors spoke to reporters. The press demanded an arrest, not answers. And eventually they got one. Sam Sheppard was charged with the murder of his wife. The city exhaled, not because the truth was known, but because uncertainty had ended. Sam was placed in a cell, staring at concrete walls where his home used to be. His sons were taken away, his career destroyed, his name rewritten in ink he couldn't erase. He kept repeating the same words, "I didn't kill her." But the echo never reached beyond the bars.
The trial began in October 1954. From the very first day, it was clear this was not a search for truth. It was a performance. The courtroom was packed. Reporters filled every bench. Cameras lingered on Sam Sheppard's face, searching for the right expression. Grief was scrutinized, silence interpreted, every blink judged. Sam sat at the defense table, pale and exhausted, watching strangers decide who he was. The prosecution painted a simple story: a jealous husband, a failing marriage, a man who snapped in the middle of the night. They spoke of motive more than evidence, of character more than facts. Marilyn was described as a victim of betrayal, Sam as a man desperate to escape his life. The jury listened. They had already read the headlines. The defense struggled from the start. Witnesses were interrupted, objections overruled. Evidence that might suggest an intruder was minimized or excluded entirely. Footprints near the lake were dismissed. Blood evidence was vague, poorly preserved, impossible to analyze properly. Science in 1954 was limited, but bias was not. Sam Sheppard testified in his own defense. He spoke quietly, carefully. He described the noise that woke him, the struggle, the figure in the darkness, the blow to his head. He said he loved his wife. Some believed him. Many did not. Because guilt had already been assigned, not by the court, but by the city watching from outside. The judge allowed the media unprecedented access. Reporters sat feet from the jury. Headlines were written during recesses. Editorials demanded conviction while testimony was still being heard. Justice had become a spectacle, and Sam Sheppard was its centerpiece. After just a few days of deliberation, the jury returned. The verdict was quick. Guilty. Second-degree murder. Life in prison. The courtroom erupted. Some cheered, some cried, some felt relief, because the story had ended, or so they thought. Sam Sheppard was led away in handcuffs, his life reduced to a single word spoken by 12 people who had never known him. Behind him, unanswered questions remained in the shadows. Questions that would not stay buried. Prison stripped Sam Sheppard of everything that once defined him. The white coats, the operating rooms, the quiet authority of being a doctor. In their place came steel bars, concrete floors, and a number stitched onto his clothes. He entered the Ohio State Penitentiary as a convicted murderer, a title that followed him into every corridor, every stair, every night without sleep. At first, Sam believed the truth would surface on its own, that logic would correct emotion, that evidence would eventually matter. It didn't. Years passed, appeals were denied, the headlines faded, replaced by newer scandals, newer villains. Sam's name lingered only as a cautionary tale, the doctor who killed his wife. Inside prison, he changed.
He grew quieter, older, hardened in ways no court transcript could capture. But he never stopped insisting on his innocence. And slowly, someone began to listen. Dr. Sam Sheppard became an object of curiosity among journalists and legal scholars. The trial transcripts looked strange when read without the noise of newspapers. The lack of physical evidence felt glaring, the judge's behavior questionable. One man in particular paid close attention, a young attorney named F. Lee Bailey. He saw something others had ignored, not just a possibly innocent man, but a case poisoned by media pressure and procedural failure. Bailey took the case. The fight moved beyond prison walls. Appeals reached federal courts. Arguments focused not on guilt or innocence, but on fairness, on whether Sam Sheppard had ever received a real trial at all. In 1966, the United States Supreme Court intervened. Their ruling was blunt. Sam Sheppard had not been given a fair trial. The media circus had compromised justice itself. After more than 10 years behind bars, Sam Sheppard walked out of prison. Free, but not vindicated. The world he returned to barely recognized him. His sons were grown, his reputation shattered, his name still stained by suspicion. And the question remained unanswered. If Sam Sheppard didn't kill his wife, then who did?
The retrial began in 1966. This time, there were no flashing cameras inside the courtroom, no screaming headlines demanding blood, no judge encouraging spectacle, only evidence and silence. For the first time, the jury heard the case without the city shouting in their ears. They saw how the original investigation had failed, how evidence was mishandled, how witnesses had been ignored, how assumptions replaced proof. They heard about the unidentified footprints, the trail toward the lake, the possibility of an intruder, a theory once dismissed, now unavoidable. And they listened to Sam Sheppard again, older, broken, still insisting on the same truth. I didn't kill my wife. The prosecution's case collapsed under scrutiny. What once felt convincing in newspapers sounded hollow in court. Motive was weak, evidence circumstantial, certainty replaced by doubt. And doubt, this time, mattered. After deliberation, the jury returned with a verdict. Not guilty. Sam Sheppard was acquitted. But acquittal is not the same as restoration. He walked free, yet the years could not be returned. His career was gone, his family fractured, his name forever linked to a crime he may not have committed. Freedom came late and incomplete. The case changed American justice. It forced courts to confront media influence. It reshaped rules about fair trials. It became a warning about what happens when public opinion replaces evidence. But it never answered the central question. Marilyn Sheppard's killer was never found. Some believe Sam was innocent. Others remain unconvinced. The truth sits somewhere between belief and uncertainty, and that may be where it stays forever. The Sam Sheppard case did not end with justice. It ended with a lesson. When the system rushes to judgment, everyone loses, including the truth.